Alright, hello again, welcome back to the show. This time the beat I'm making is Look Alive by BlocBoy JB and Drake. So let's fix this thing here. Alright, so first I will play the beat and then I won't play the whole beat. I'll just play enough of it for you to get the idea, and then I'll go through the instruments and then I'll play the full beat, and that will be the end of this thing. By the way, I just want to point out that this is a really good remake tutorial, or a really good remake for someone who's new to making beats, because it's very simple, but it's the beat and everything, it's got bounce, it's got exactly what you need in a good song without basically anything else. It's just the bare bones to like a catchy song. What is going on with this thing? Alright. Let's put it a little, want it like that. Alright, okay, so here we go. I'm going to mute my microphone. Okay, so you get the idea. So let's go through it step by step. By the way, this is native plugins only for this tutorial. So let me just make sure everything's, yeah. So you know what you're getting. You know that there's not going to be anything fancy that you don't know about. What I use for the piano is a grand piano. So you go to packs, you go to instruments, you go to keyboard, go to grand piano, and drag it over, and that's your grand piano. I use that instead of FL keys because I realize that FL keys, not only is it like a bad quality sound, but there's better quality, free plugins in this thing. The grand piano is better, so now I'm probably going to use the grand piano more often. It's just, it sounds okay. So here we go. The grand piano is this. Oh, sorry. Well, that is it, but so I have, it's like a two-note chord playing here, and some of them, like two of these notes, are only playing by, it's one small progression that plays twice, and I did an octave of the higher part of this chord here because I think that's what it actually is in the song, or else it's the only way I can mimic it. And that high part, I put the velocities of it down so it's a bit quieter. So this part here is a little bit quieter than this part here. That's the grand piano. Yeah. Okay, as you can see. Oh, so and for the effects on it, that's actually extremely important. I have the parametric EQ. Without it, it sounds like this. Can you hear all that low end? You don't want that in this song. So you use parametric EQ to cut it out. I cut out a little bit of the high because usually you don't need the extra high. Cut out all the low, and I put a little bit up, a little bit of shaping, so there's a little bit high here and high here. Just what sounded right to me. I tried a reverb and I didn't need it. So these two I didn't need at all. Place none. Whatever, you get the idea, don't need it. So that's the piano. Next, let's go into the bass. I'm using the Southside 808, number 2, which is in an 808 Mafia pack will have it. So that sounds like this. Another reason why this is so simple is there's like not much variation. I mean, there's two measures of this bass, so they don't do the same thing both times, but there isn't much variation beyond this. It's just bare bones. I did a little bit of velocity stuff to this because I found that with this 808, the high notes play louder, and I didn't want that. I wanted everything even. And of course, when you're using 808, you cut by self to get away from things running into each other. The effects I used, I tried distortion out, didn't use it. I used parametric EQ, and this one's shaped kind of weird because I really wanted a lot of the sub, this area here, and like a little bit of that, but too much, and you get too much of that wow, and I didn't want that, so I got rid of most of that. So that's the 808, that's the piano kick. It sounds really like there's a clicking noise. It's really loud here, but with the bass it sounds better. You know, it could be just something stupid that I just did right now. I don't know. I think I just needed a little bit of that click to cut through the mix, as they say. Let's hear what it sounds like. Yeah, you don't hear that when everything's playing, so I just kind of made it work for that. So the kick, piano roll, all the velocities are up. You can see what the pattern is. It's the same pattern twice. It's very simple. Parametric EQ is doing this, as you just saw. Cut out that extra stuff because you don't want to disturb all the animals that can hear it, because that would be rude. Cut out the high end, and that. So that's how you do that. Clap. Oh, sorry, I'm not using this clap. Never mind. Hi-hats. This was like one of the easiest hi-hat patterns I've ever made. I was really thankful that this wasn't very, hard, because, oops, I didn't even, that's stupid. These should be up. Sorry. But yeah. Really easy hi-hat pattern to learn, to hear in the music and to make. But you're still gonna get the benefit of knowing how all of these sounds come together. Oh, by the way, so the kick was in the Reminiscence drum kit. I had to look around for this a bit, because the other kicks, the rat kicks and everything, they didn't sound quite right, and that was the one that ended up sounding right out of all my kicks. So 2AM Reminiscence drum kit, plus 18 loops. You might be able to find that in freedrumkits.net, otherwise you might have to search around the internet for it. The Lex Luger hi-hat is in the 808 Mafia pack, but you should be able to find around. Yeah, that's the one. So I picked it because it's got a bit of a sound, but also like high, like that sound that you need. And I took a little bit of the out so that it doesn't last as long, because it was a bit too much like for a hi-hat, for me anyways, based on what the sounded like the song. And of course, parametric EQ to get rid of the low, you don't need it. And I turned the high up a bit because in the song, there's actually a lot of the high end of the hi-hat there. It's like they turn it up a bit, so that's what I did, try to emulate that. There's an open hat that plays in some parts of the song. This is panned all the way to the right, and it's very low in volume. It just comes in and out. It's really interesting how they have that there. Just that little thing, just that little like once in a while, like you can see where it happens here. The high, like the open hats just come in here, 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 and just a little thing on one side of your headphones if you're using headphones. Snare is this. I had to put a lot of work into the snare to get the right sound. I tried a lot of different snares that I had. This one sounded closest, and then I had to add on some distortion to it to get it all the way there. I added first I EQ'd it, got rid of the low, put the high up a bit, put that up a bit. This is like the main sound of the snare. I kind of turned that down, but the fast distortion does a lot of the work. You can see where it is. This is without any of them. See? You hear a lot of the sound, I bring it up even a little bit more, but like the high end of the sound is up more, so it sounds higher, and then that just adds like a whole extra, because I was trying to add like a clap on top of it to try to get it to sound more full. No, I needed fast distortion. That makes it sound like it's like biting. So that's how that happened. And then there's a grand piano. And bonus, not bonus, because I'm like I'm making this tutorial to show you guys, but this noise here. How am I going to play this for you? This. I did a lot of things to that to get it to sound like it does in the song, because it's that riser that you hear in the song, and then now it sounds like this. So how did I do that? Let me show you. I used gross beat with a 1/6 gate. I used a delay because it repeats itself like a delay. That's what that does. And I used fast distortion. So without anything, it's this with a gross beat, and the gross beat doesn't turn all the way up. It's just to there. The fruity delay with the fast distortion. It sounds dirty. It's not exact. The riser that they have, like the pitch goes up faster. Like it just, so I didn't bother going into that. I probably could have automated a pitch change to increase the pitch more, but I felt like this sounded new, like it sounded original. Like, why not? It's close enough, and it doesn't sound exactly like it, but it sounds good. It does the job, so I left it like that. The last thing is the parametric EQ, because there's a part here when BlocBoy JB does this thing where it goes where there's like a low pass filter that comes in. So I emulate that with a parametric EQ on the master channel. I do this. So I'll show you what's happening. So master channel has a limiter. That's how you get the kick. The kick's louder because I have that limiter on. So the settings are, this is all the way up. This is down to just a little bit off, like 0.2, and then this is gain is just like here. I hope I didn't just screw it up. Whatever, you know, you get the idea. Okay, now for the parametric EQ, you can see what's going on when the automation happens. It's this channel, this part of it. So I automated this. I pressed this automation clip, and I went here. Sorry, here, automation clip. And that gave me the two that I needed to basically adjust. So it goes like this. So down is down on this. So that's, I basically just like said go all the way down. And then this one, it just go across kind of like really fast. And so that it does that. So it gets to here, because this is cutting off all the high end. So then it goes back up. Not too hard to grasp. So, is there anything else that I'm missing? Oh, right, and in the snare, by the way, the snare is snare 22. That's again in this pack, this reminiscence pack. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I took the out and I put it all the way like this much up, because otherwise, hold on, let me just copy the value. That's too much, based on the song, so I did that. Works well. Everything works well, so well together. Like the hi-hat just like it works really well. It's such a simple song, but it's so smooth. So if you want to learn, like, you can learn a lot just by analyzing this. Like, how does the bounce work so well? Like, the bass isn't that loud. The kick is super loud. The snare is really loud. The hi-hat is not doing too much, but is doing stuff in all the right places. If you can compare, like, the hi-hat, not even a roll, but the hi-hat, triplet, and hi-hat's coming in when this snare is coming in. The last one hits on the snare here. hits on the snare. Here it hits on the beginning of the snare, but like you got the hi-hat rolls kind of like around where most of the snare action happens. You see? That's something that you can learn about making beats with bounce. You've got the bass 808. It's really subby, and it just has two different versions of it. The second version, you can see that the 808 has it's just what chord is that? It's a minor chord, which is exactly like in the one of the other remakes I did. Probably both of them, but one of the famous Dex remixes has also the same. It's just a minor chord. It works so well. That's something to remember. Minor chord progression, minor chord notes going down, up for the bass, and then and then you gotta have the high note at the end, and then going down, leading into the next to starting again. That's good 808s. A lot of them are gonna be like that, especially the minor chord. So there. That's I feel like and the fact that you've got these risers coming in often. Like there's a lot of like this riser. It's not just every verse. Like there's a riser here, there's a riser here, there's a riser here. Like there's a lot, you know? So you can analyze this and you can learn a lot from like for making simple but good beats. So I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Um, Please leave a comment on what you liked, what you thought should be improved, just some constructive feedback, and I will shout you guys out in the next video. Um, yeah, subscribe if you want to see more of these in a timely fashion. Like the video to let me know that you liked it so that I can use that data to analyze what kind of videos I should make in the future. And with that being said, without any further ado, without delay, with that being said, I guess I'll just I'll play the full song. So thanks for watching. All right, here we go. I'm gonna get rid of my. All right. Let's